Have you been searching for healthy and delicious granola bars that you can eat on the go or eat at home and have them be delicious but also good for you at the same time? Well, I have too. Over the last month, I have been trying so hard to find delicious and healthy granola bars that I can eat as a snack right away in the morning before I have breakfast. Not gonna, crash my glucose and just high in protein. And we did find a few. I went to Costco, but the first one we got, it is okay. It's very chewy. It takes forever to eat it because it's just like stuck in your teeth, which I don't love. And then the next one is super high in protein that I got. It's got 20 grams of protein, no sugar, but I looked at the fine print when we got home and there's 15 grams of sugar alcohols. So literally the whole time I'm eating this, it just tastes like I'm eating sugar alcohol and whey protein powder. Not good. There's no crunch. They're really not delicious. So since I have not been able to find any in the store and I don't want to keep wasting my money buying stuff that I don't know if it's going to be good or not, we are going to make homemade granola bars today and some homemade overnight oats that you can prep on the weekend and then eat for breakfast throughout the week. And they all have a good amount of protein in them. We are going to use honey for the sugar. So I'm really excited about these and let's get started. Okay, so first up, we are going to make a granola bar that has lots of different nuts in it. It has a mashed banana, it has rolled oats. So we are going to bake our nuts and our oats for 20 minutes first while we mix the other stuff up. So I'm gonna get some parchment paper out so we can line our baking sheet. And actually, we need to preheat our oven, so I'm gonna get that started. 350 degrees. I am so excited to try these and have something that we can make. I feel like this is just gonna save money in the long run making it at home ourselves anyways, instead of buying store-bought granola bars that are like $20 a box and then they taste bad. So, and it always just feels good to, make your stuff homemade. And I'm using walnuts and pecans because that's what we have in our cupboard. You could also use almonds if you have almonds. You could use other nuts like pumpkin seeds, but these are the ones I have, so I'm just gonna go with what we have in the cupboard instead of buying something else. All right, our oven is fully preheated, so I'm gonna put these in. And I'm only setting a timer for 5 minutes because nuts can kind of vary on how long they take, same with the oats, so I don't want them to burn. So in 5 minutes, we will stir them around, put them back in, and then another 5 minutes and we'll see how they're doing and just gradually add more time if needed. All right, so while those are in the oven, we are going to add and mix together the rest of our ingredients. That way, once they're done, the nuts and oats, we can just add them right into the bowl, stir them up, lay them out, and then those will be done. We have, 2 cups rolled oats, which is in the oven, and then we need peanut butter, honey, raisins, and vanilla and cinnamon, and a banana. That's a lot. And the links to both or all of these recipes that we will be using today are in the description below. So don't feel like you need to scramble and write everything down while you're watching this, because you can go to the description and it will link you out to the recipes, walking you step by step and everything. It's on my blog too at ourfamilycooks.com. All right, so for the peanut butter, actually I'm gonna mash up our banana first because the peanut butter is gonna be super sticky. And so will the honey in our cup. So we want 1 banana, and it doesn't have to be super brown, just soft enough, not green, to mash up nicely. And you could also use, if you don't like banana or you have someone allergic to banana, you could use dates. I am not a huge fan of dates. They're okay, but they're not my favorite. So we are using a banana, which the more ripe your banana is, the sweeter it will be. So if you do leave your banana to be super brown, then it'll be sweeter. That's why when people make banana bread or banana muffins, they always use super brown bananas. And the peanut butter I'm using, this is organic peanut butter from Costco. It's just nuts. It has dry roasted organic peanuts and then sea salt in it. So if you're really trying to make a healthy granola bar or anything really, check the ingredients. Oh, our nuts are done. Check the ingredients on your peanut butter because sometimes they have like molasses and just a bunch of other stuff in them, and then it's not as healthy as if you just have nuts and salt. All right, let's check our nuts. So the nuts are looking good, but they definitely need more time. So I put them for an additional 8 minutes. All right, next up, we'll measure our honey. And I'm gonna spray this a little bit just so the honey comes out a little easier. Getting all the dishes dirty today. Oh well. Probably should have sprayed my spatula. And this is just regular raw honey that you can buy. We get it at Costco, but I like storing them in mason jars instead of in the plastic containers, just because when it gets hard and solidified like this one kind of has, I don't like putting the plastic in the microwave to heat it up, because really heating it up really helps get those crystals melted and the honey back together. So I like, if I'm gonna put it in the microwave, I'm gonna put it in a glass jar. Ugh, man, this honey is sticky. Okay, this is probably good enough. If I can scrape more out, I'll scrape it and just put it straight in the bowl. And I'll wash this now that it's empty, so I might be getting a little peanut butter in it, but it's okay. We will wash it. Oh man. Next up, we need vanilla, about a half teaspoon of vanilla. I should have done my cinnamon first, because now my thing is wet. Oh well, I'll just sprinkle the cinnamon in. It's 1/4 to half a teaspoon, so I'm just gonna eyeball it. Good enough. Okay, so we got banana, we got peanut butter, we need raisins. Come on. Jeez Louise. That took enough time to get open. And a half cup raisins. If you guys don't like raisins, you can do cranberries or dried blueberries, but we like raisins, so I like using them. And just about 1/8 of a teaspoon of salt, so I'm just gonna sprinkle this in. Okay, let's see if we can easily mix this together, or if I need to get might just end up getting my mixers out. This looks and smells really good. The cinnamon mixed with the honey and the raisins smells so good. So this is what this looks like. Nice and sticky. And let's check on our nuts again. And I almost forgot, I'm gonna add protein powder to these as well. So I'm gonna get my protein powder real quick. Ta-da! Let's put this away. So peanut butter I'll need for the next one, so we'll just leave that out. Okay, so I'm gonna do 2 scoops of protein powder. And one thing about these too is if you make them and they end up being kind of flaky for you, or they're too sticky. So if they're too sticky, you wanna add a little more dry. So maybe a little more protein, a little more nuts or oats. If they're too dry and they're like flaky and crumbly, then you wanna add some more honey or peanut butter. So just depends on, I know there's a recipe and sometimes you follow it to T and it's like, why did this person's not be crumbly but mine are? That just happens sometimes. So if that does happen, either add more liquids or add more dry ingredients to make it more of a nice granola bar texture. Turning our oven off because we don't need that for the rest of the day, and our nuts look good. One thing I probably should have done before throwing it on here was chop up the walnuts and pecan first. So now I have to do that afterwards, which is fine. It just probably would have been easier to do it before. So learn for next time. I'm gonna try and just dig out where the nuts are, put them on my cutting board, and everything else we'll put in the bowl. We'll let that pan just cool down before we put it away, and we'll put this stuff in the sink real quick. Okay, so I think for this, I am gonna get my handheld mixer out. Well, I mean, it's going pretty well, but I just really wanna make sure this gets incorporated. Okay. All right. All right, this is looking really good. And then we are gonna press it into a pan. So it's not all like stuck together right now, but we're gonna press it into a pan and then we'll put it in the freezer for 30 minutes just so it can set up and get hard or solid. So I think it's looking right now like it has a good mixture of the liquids to the dry ingredients. All right, so I am debating which pan I wanna put these in. Like there's a decent amount here, but I also like maybe this will just cover it and then there'll be like a nice thickness. Then I'm like, well, I don't want them to be too full. Ooh. Okay, we're just gonna go with this pan and we'll see how it turns out. If it's too much, then we'll transfer it to the other one. And I'm gonna reuse my parchment paper. All right, so this does look a little more dry than I want it to be now that I'm pouring this out into this pan. I feel like these are gonna be super crumbly, so let's put it back in the bowl. I'll add a little more peanut butter and honey, stir it up, and we'll see how that goes. I think it'll definitely make it look better. And yes, it did. These look so good. They're spreading, they're staying together. So I will update the measurements on my recipe from what I used before to add a little bit of extra peanut butter and honey, because yeah, now they're perfect. All right, now that those are in our freezer, I'm going to clean up a bit and then we will get started on granola bar number 2. And this one does not involve any oven. They're no-bake granola bars. We'll just mix them all in a bowl and then throw them in a 9x9 pan. So these should be a lot quicker. Okay, on to our second no-bake granola bar. Like I said, this one's gonna be hopefully really nice and quick and easy because we're just gonna throw it all in one bowl and then put it in a pan. So we're gonna start with 2 cups of rolled oats again. This one is empty. So I do have another container. And our protein powder will be next. We're gonna do 3/4 cup. Okay, so depending on how big your scoop is, this is mine, it would be 3.5 scoops. Okay, so yeah, this one definitely took a lot less time than the first one, which is always nice. Save time in the kitchen so you can do other things. Yeah, this is looking good. So this one makes a little less, and we're gonna use a 9x9 pan. That's a trick I learned from one of you guys with the parchment paper to get it to stay in the bowl better, to scrunch it up and then to put it in there. So appreciate all the comments you guys leave me with tips and tricks, because it's so nice to learn from each other. Woo! So this granola bar has a lot more, well, the other one we didn't put chia seeds in. This one we did, and chia seeds are just a great source of fiber. They don't really have any flavor, but they're just really good for you. Because especially in the standard American diet, we do not get enough fiber, which is what keeps you regular. Whew, it's like an arm workout. Perfect. Okay, so I'm gonna throw these in the freezer as well, so they sit up. They don't need to be kept in the freezer. That would be so cold if you're like every day trying to grab a granola bar out of the freezer and then you chip your tooth. So you can keep them in the fridge or on the counter. They just will not last as long if you keep them on the counter. Yeah, I'm excited for these. They look nice. Well, they look delicious. They look nice, but they look delicious. So last but not least, we are going to put together some overnight oats that you can make for breakfast. These, I love making like 4 of them on a Sunday, having the milk and everything in it, and then they just sit in my fridge. And when I get up in the morning, I grab it. You can throw berries in it or some chopped nuts, depending on what kind you're doing. And then you have that for breakfast right away and you don't have to prep anything. They're so great if you're, I know over the holidays, some of our family lives 3 hours away, so we would leave really early in the morning, usually stop somewhere to get breakfast. But this would be a great one. I've done that before, where you take it in the car, because I keep them in mason jars, and then you just need a spoon and you can eat it in the car on the go. Again, I'm gonna clean up my area a little bit and then we will make our overnight oats. Okay, let's make our overnight oats. So the first one we are gonna do is a vanilla berry overnight oat. Everything that I'm putting in it today does not include the berries. That I always like to do morning of, so I'll get berries out of either my fridge or my freezer and throw them on top and then mix them in. I found that if I put the berries in earlier than the day of, then they really get soggy and it makes the oats get even soggier than what I like them to be. So I just prefer to do it that morning. You want to use old-fashioned rolled oats for these, not quick oats, because the milk and it's sitting overnight is kind of like cooking the oats, so they won't be hard and tough when you go to eat them the next morning. The milk will have softened them and kind of cooked them in a way to where they're enjoyable to eat. Okay, so starting with a cup of oats, and I'm gonna do, I like to line all of my jars up and just do it all at once. So I'm gonna do 2 of the vanilla, and then I'm gonna do 2 banana bread ones because we have bananas, so why not? And each one of them is gonna have a cup of oats in it. And just like the granola bars, the links to these recipes for the overnight oats will be in the description as well. All right, and then each one of them, even the banana ones, I am going to put 1 scoop of protein powder in. So we'll do that next. I usually use a funnel for this. I don't know why I forgot to do it, but got it out now. Okay, so for the vanilla one specifically, we are putting chia seeds in. And I'm gonna do about a tablespoon of chia seeds. And like I said earlier, these don't really have a flavor and they don't stay really hard. Once you put the milk in and stuff, they get softer. So you don't really notice them when you're eating them. They don't have a taste. Yeah, I don't mind them. And then sometimes I put flaxseed in, but this is nice and sealed. I use my sealer to keep this on, so I'm just not gonna worry about flaxseed right now. I bought this when I was nursing our daughter, because flaxseed is apparently supposed to be really good for your milk production. So if I was currently breastfeeding, I would definitely add some flaxseed into these. Okay, and then we want some peanut butter powder. And I'm gonna do a teaspoon each. I kind of do a heavy teaspoon of that. And if you don't have peanut butter powder, you can do regular, just a teaspoon of regular peanut butter. The powder just mixes really well. And we don't need the peanut butter powder for the banana one, so I'm gonna put this away. And then I do like to add just a teaspoon of honey in these for a little bit of sweetness. And then I'm not making a chocolate one right now, but I do have a chocolate brownie recipe for overnight oats on my blog, and it is really good. You use chocolate protein powder instead of vanilla, obviously. You add a little bit of cocoa powder, and you add a little bit of chocolate chips. Just the mini ones, you know, not a ton, just a few, but it's really good. All right, so lastly, we want 3/4 cup milk, and I've done this before with almond milk, and it tastes really good, so if you wanna do something that's not dairy, that is perfectly fine. All right, so in the banana bread overnight oats, we need half a mashed banana, cinnamon, vanilla, and chia seeds. So another really great tip is if you are pregnant and planning some meals for postpartum, the first couple weeks or the first month when baby is here, overnight oats are a really good one to prep. Last time I was pregnant, I prepped overnight oats, and I did it in a large gallon Ziploc bag, so I just put all the powders in there, the dry stuff. But this time, which, surprise, I am pregnant. Wasn't sure when I was gonna announce on here, but I figured why not do it now since I am talking about postpartum. So yeah, this time I am planning to prep them in the jars. So I'm just gonna put the dry ingredients in the jars. I'm only at 16 weeks, so I still have a ways to go, but I'm thinking ahead because it's gonna be here before you know it, time flies. And I'm definitely just gonna put all the dry ingredients in the separate jars, put the lids on them, and then keep them in my pantry and do it at night. So grab one out, add milk to it, and then in the next morning I can just eat it right away. So yeah, tip if you are pregnant or planning to be pregnant soon, these are great meals to prep beforehand. And also exciting news, in end of April, beginning of May, I am going to be launching a workshop. So it's, oh geez, having a bit of a mess here. My milk is going everywhere. All right, I'll clean this up. But anyways, so I am putting a workshop together that will be available to all of you. It's gonna have tips on meal prepping and planning for postpartum. It's gonna have recipes, probably like 30 different recipes, different snacks, breakfast, dinners, because especially if you have more than one kid, now we are gonna have two, this is gonna be our second. I also have to think about not only feeding myself, husband, kid, but also just everything. So prepping dinner menu items is a really good idea. So then at night, when you're getting to the witching hour, you don't have to think about, you know, what you're gonna make. So yeah, there will be a lot of recipes. There will be grocery lists of everything, checklist. There will be a couple exclusive videos that will only be available. It won't be available on the broad YouTube. It'll only be available to you guys if you purchase. So yeah, I am super excited to launch that. I will have more information and more details coming soon. I'm also gonna do a 7 to 8 part series of helping me prep for postpartum. So there will be a whole series and playlist on my YouTube. So make sure if you know someone who is pregnant and would love to have some ideas, tell them about this. That is coming up in April. I'm gonna start posting those videos. So make sure to subscribe so you can get notified once those are posted. So I am super excited about it. We're super excited about baby number 2. And yeah, let's finish up these overnight oats. All right, so I got our mess with the milk cleaned up, and then I also did our second one, and I just did it slower this time instead of pouring it all in at once, because you gotta let it soak to the bottom and soak in. So anywho's, so these, the vanilla ones, I like to add the berries on top. The banana ones, I like to chop up some pecans and then the morning of throw them on top, and then you have a nice little crunch in there that just tastes really good. So I would recommend adding, if you don't have pecans, you could do almonds or walnuts. Pecans just taste really good. Okay, so these are done. And my husband will probably end up eating one of these in the morning too. So this will last us Monday and Tuesday for breakfast. If I wanted to go all week, I would make more, obviously. But I'm okay with just this, because then you don't want to get tired of it and then be sick of it and not want any more. And I have got questions before on how I eat those. I personally like to eat them just straight out of the fridge so they're cold. But you could pop them in the microwave. One great thing about using mason jars is that they're glass, so you can put that in the microwave. It's not gonna break down like plastic and leach into your food. So I like them cold. Experiment, whatever you like. Heat them up in the microwave, see if you like that better. But yeah, whatever way you wanna do it is perfectly fine. Okay, I'm gonna clean our countertop off, and then we are gonna try our granola bars. They've both been in the freezer for probably at least 30 minutes by now. So they should be nice and set. And I'm excited to try these because it's also close to lunchtime and I'm getting hungry. Okay, first up we will try the ones where we roasted the nuts and the oats. All right, so it's holding together really well. That's very good. It has the slightest taste of that banana, but I like it. It's not super overpowering. It's just good. It's like, you just get the hint of it and you're like, oh, I think there's banana in there. It's not like, pow, in your face, banana. So I really like it. Yes. We will try our no-bake granola bars. And these ones have the mini chocolate chips and the chia seeds holding together nicely. Wow, yes. These are both winners. They are fantastic. This one did not have the banana, so obviously I'm not tasting that in there. But I'm getting the oats, the chocolate chips, the raisins, the peanut butter, of course, and the sweetness of that honey. Oh, so good. I am so happy with these. These are gonna be some of my new breakfast snacks. I mean, it's so easy to make these. And the ones you buy in the store, it's like, how do they mess those up so bad that they taste gross? I don't know. But these are so good. I will have the recipes to both of these granola bars linked in the description below. So definitely check these out. Follow my blog on Pinterest so you can see more homemade recipes. And like I said before, I'm pregnant. So I'm super excited to go through my pregnancy with you guys, sharing what I'm prepping for postpartum. And I just really look forward to seeing you more and sharing more of what I make in my kitchen with you all. So I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day, and I will see you next time. Bye.